to finally march down there.
Oh.
The one time they did it and Rezo
that.
TP top, I was like, what's going on right now? But at least this time they're like, guys, at least let's commit to something.
Jerix has an Aeon disc.
Indeed he does.
Really?
He will just kind of whoosh out of there. And he wants to protect his gem. Okay, so, I mean, this game did look very good for OG 2 seconds ago. And now I click this Chen's items and he's got...
They found the weaver. Jerix, no! You could have impaled at any time.
Oh, he's gonna lose the gem.
The gem.
Oh no.
Jerix, you saved the game, but then that happens. Well, that's gonna be completed Mjolnir for
This is what
Rezo.
makes entertaining games, though. Like, Dota's never perfect.
No. This is a game of mistakes for sure. Rezo, like this mistake.
No, this is the gem.
Oh, he got off BKB time. He's gonna be okay. Whew. Oh, Willow is gonna be able to catch ILTW. Doesn't have another doppelganger for 5 seconds. Did they find the real one? Universe doesn't care about that. He's gonna go for the back line.
Oh,
the rest of the team focus
Will-O-Wisp.
on ILTW, and it just keeps on pulling him in over and over again. He managed to get the doppelganger out. Another 5 seconds for the next one. They pull him onto the cliff. He can't get out. 1 more second.
The ring.
Doppelganger now.
Where's he going?
He's getting away. No, he's slowed down immediately by Resolution. Found the real one. He's dead for 70 seconds. No Tail's gonna be caught as well.
Oh man, can you imagine if they killed Rezo there? It was like half a hit away.
Yes.
You feed away the gem. That would have been the counter turnaround. No Jerix pulling the creep wave this time around.
Yeah, he can't stop this.
All right, how do you delay the game now? PL has no buyback, dead for 45 seconds.
They have no Monkey King ult, so they don't even have the Wukong's command to be able to defend.
Man, Thompson is poor now. Like, he has picked up a Yasha since all of this.
He's going Manta Radiance. Is this Naga Siren Monkey that we're watching?
The Will-O-Wisp, by the way, is so... This spell is so crazy.
It's so, yeah, it's broke. It is broke.
You're just straight up gonna call it broken?
I mean, the fact that they nerf him and this hero can be run as a 4 position or a 5.
It's pretty much a better version of the Phoenix Egg.
Yes.
it's
like, oh, I don't have to put my life on the line for this?
It's a pulsing Phoenix Egg. Oh, that's incredible. Kudos to them. Forward, you know, they're finally starting to do stuff. We didn't really get to see it last game and for a large part of this game, but you know, they're finally kind of putting it together as Rezo still has the gem. Jerix has to be careful about this. They're laying out a lot of sentries, and he does have a TP available. He's going to go for it. Any follow-up? Nope. This game's great. I've thoroughly enjoyed this one.
2 lanes of Brax down, all the shrines on ILTW, who, you know, we once said, oh, he's close 20 and hard. That was like 5 minutes ago or something. And he has 0 progression in items ever since.
It was that mid fight and then the bottom one.
Yeah.
All right, we're okay. Things are starting to look up. I thought for a second that it looked like this game was...
They're going to straight smoke up, but immediately it's going to be popped, and there's UR making his initiation. They're going to be able to catch up. He's already dead as well. Will-O-Wisp doesn't really catch anybody past that, but with 2 pickoffs like that, no buybacks on the side of OG. I don't think this 3-man defense is going to be enough to stop Forward from claiming Megas. They're going to be able to catch Jerix as well. The Aeon Disc will just buy him a little bit of time, but he is still dead.
I think the Aeon Disc pickup's nice, but without a blink, it's just a temporary solution. They'll chase you down every time.
Yeah. Phantasm, Dragon Form. No Serpent Wards here, but...
Let's do it. What's the comeback mechanic?
ILTW immediately going to be hexed as he completes his TP here. Long range shackles out from MSS, and Jerix has already blown his impale, so they don't have a way to stop the disable. Fortunately, ILTW is super tank, and he will be able to get away for a little while. Maybe back to the fountain he goes, but it cost Jerix his life, and Thompson's already used the Wukong's command, and he's going to die inside of that too. The armor is now gone, and he's ripped apart by Yawar. The carry Dragon Knight with the help of MSS. Oh, Seb comes in, managed to pull Resolution back, but immediately the buyback time-lapse. He can come back in, but Yawar, he's dead now, and maybe you can't actually bail this out. If we're just gonna have to retreat.
This is
amazing.
amazing.
Another day?
No. They bought back on 2. I think they're really looking for it.
They gotta end the game now, right?
I think they're saying, guys, like this is enough.
Okay, but
MSS is gonna go Shrine real fast, and he'll walk back. Don't worry.
all right. But Roshan's up.
Yeah. Genuinely,
this is gonna do Roshan.
This is so clowny. Everyone's just running at each other. It's okay. I'm okay with Roche, but what it does is it gives OG like a 14th opportunity
yes.
to recover the game.
They will not have to defend their 3rd Rax with only 3 heroes. They will be able to form a 5-man defense. It's gonna be against Aegis and Cheese.
Okay, here we go. So they use the buybacks. So I thought this game has been over like 9 times.
It's not been the cleanest of games.
No, but that's what makes entertaining Dota. And that's what Dota is, you know? I've never played a game where things just go smoothly. Like even in Korea when we were playing against like 3K players, you know? I'd die somehow.
Playing against players who are literally new to Dota as a whole.
I mean, my guys were like, what does Lina do? I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. All right, so you have one good opportunity to defend. Here is Forward. The crazy part is if Forward somehow loses the 2 heroes that bought back, maybe suddenly there's like some weird way that OG can win again. It's only a 9,000 gold difference. It's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Like once you're down like 2K or 2 sets of racks and they've lost like 3 fights in a row and everybody from OG's bought back, you'd consider it being like a 20K lead minimum. But it has not been that way, Austin.
No, it hasn't. And Forward do not feel comfortable enough to just march into the base immediately. They're gonna try and play it to the best they can, make sure that all the lanes are pushed in before they go for that high ground hit. But that may be able to buy a bit of time here. Almost got the pick off here on ILTW. I was just looking at it. If Zeb can actually get the BKB so he no longer has to worry about the Will-O-Wisp countering his initiation, that high ground defense becomes significantly better. But he still needs another like 1,000 gold for this. Meanwhile, Thompson with his Manta Radiance build continues to push out the bottom lane non-stop. He can cut the mid lane next if he wants to.
He just needs to cut lanes and delay.
Yeah. Like
this game is all about delay, delay, delay.
And if he can actually get the BKB as well with a combination of the Wukong's command.
Yeah, he's going to cut this mid lane. Very well done.
Jump in.
Just continue to create some space and some time.
Oh, look at that. They actually TP. UR came back. They... Okay.
This bottom lane's been completely cleared out too. So now they just have to deal with this top lane, and they're going to be able to do that, and the game resets a little bit. And credit to OG, even though they might have thrown a little bit, they're doing the correct things to get themselves back into the game.
Yeah.
They're using the fact that Forward, correctly so, I think, is a little bit timid because I think they really don't want to throw this game back. Like, of all the games you could potentially lose,
yeah,
this one would hurt.
They may not survive the rest of the tournament as a team.
Morale has dropped significantly.
It may be a disband sort of game, you know?
Nah, man. They're troopers.
Butterfly soon for resolution, but a butterfly on the way for ILTW.
All right, so now they're forming up. You see MSS. He's got the wards. What talents has he picked up? He's
Time
got cast
to go.
Range.
How can they stop us? We've got Phantasm, Dragon Form, Serpent Wards.
Cheese.
It's only one lane of racks. Surely.
All right, so
this should be easy.
ILTW does have a buyback, as does Thompson. Oh no, he doesn't. Thompson actually bought out for his BKB. So we'll see how that decision ends up playing out. I mean, I think the BKB is better than the buyout, personally. They're all gathered up as you are.
They get the right kind of lasso here into the Wukong's command with both their BKBs.
It's the Will-O-Wisp, though. They gotta figure out a way to get to SVG.
That's true. And Jerix He's not trying to wrap around there. Actually going to throw it on the Serpent Wards here. ILTW will be quick to dispatch though, but that's the same time they make the initiation. Try and grab Jarex. Aeon Disc is going to pop, so that initiation is going to fail. Thompson goes for the back line. The Wukong's command on top of the supports. That's great. That's exactly what they wanted, especially with the pullback resolution. That's going to be the Aegis down. A great setup, a great hold from OG, but can they keep it going? ILTW has already finished off the Shadow Shaman, immediately buying back. They're still going to try and take this 5-on-5. Forward is saying, all right, they're out of some spells now. They've got some cooldowns. All we have to do is make sure no one else gets picked off here. And sure enough, Universe is going to be able to blink away from ILTW, so he will be fine. Forward.
That was the reactive buyback, though, from MSS. And he had to have known it was, at best, the 4-on-5 for their side. And there's no way they're going to push the issue 4-on-5 without buyback.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That is weird.
So, I mean, that is definitely an overall win for OG, as they managed to grab the Aegis. This time around, they fought around the Will-O-Wisp perfectly. If you notice, the Phantom Rush carried him all the way past it.
Yes.
He just 40-yard dashed right through it, no problem. This time around, it was not effective. They caught the back line. That's what they needed to do in these fights. You just have to ignore these tanky cores. It's not easy to take out. Like this DK and this CK.
Okay, so OG have now created the formula for success in a team fight. We've seen how they can win this, how they can hold. What are the changes that Forward needs to make now?
Forward just... That fight's just a little bit awkward. I felt like they rushed it. They dropped the wards and they all committed to going for the high ground.
Yeah, that was
but
really
the problem is the Keeper of the Light and the Shaman, they can't really follow up on that with the rest of the heroes. So I think they have to be more patient. There. And Rezo, you can't get caught out here. You absolutely cannot die, and he's completely alone. He's gonna Shikuchi out.
Oh, he hit him! A blind hit from Jarex! Unbelievable!
Oh, God.
He's dead for 2 minutes.
Did he even have vision? Did he even? I don't see a sentry.
He did not have vision.
He didn't have a
blind swing.
Home run.
All they had was Thompson's gem, and I'm pretty sure that he was nowhere in range. 100 seconds.
I'm feeling it, Austin.
You think they got this? You think OG are gonna make the comeback?
Round and round it goes. Where it ends, nobody knows, Austin.
See that again? What a beautiful read from Jarex. Yeah, that gem was so far away. There's no way. That was completely blind.
And now all the buybacks that they used to try to end the game, that kind of just bites them in the ass now. They can't play as aggressively as they like to.
They're going to be losing Raxes. And if you're OG, you just got to go balls to the wall here, right?
There's no buyback on DK for 30 seconds.
You just keep going. Where's Jarex going?
Yeah. There's no buyback for 30 seconds on the DK, so he's not willing to commit for the fight. And Weaver just... Weaver doesn't have one for 8 short seconds.
There's no tier 2s to protect any of these. They can go for full-on megas.
Okay, that's a 1K.
Oh, Jesus, that's SVG gone. He does have a buyback. He does have got Will-O-Wisp.
He's got buyback and Will-O-Wisp. They're going to lose one.
All right, there's a buyback now. There's a buyback now for the Weaver. So if OG get overconfident, thinking, oh, there's no buyback from this Weaver, we still have 30 seconds.
Yeah, but OG do have buybacks. This is...
Oh, Yumar's going to make his initiation. Goes for set. There's going to go the buyback from Resolution. On the front line, though, is Thompson. He's going to get off the Wukong's command. Universe trying to go for ILTW. There's so many illusions. He's already
no man on the DK.
Yumar, he doesn't have
He's got cheese.
He's got cheese. He's got cheese. It's going to be okay. And the Will-O-Wisp is there as well. They're going to try and get out with the Phantom Rush. So the ILTW will get out of that hold. Now he gets pushed back into the stun of Yumar. They've got ILTW. It's going to be shackled up, he's dead. He does have a buyback though. Universe on the hunt for more. Same goes with the resolution, but it looks like everyone else from OG has managed to get out. Jerix pulled away by the Chen. Thompson's away. OG do have a buyback to hold once again in a 5v5.
But it's still, in my opinion, OG advantage because they've got the buybacks to work with. There's no buyback on Rezo, which is huge, but there is a buyback available on all of OG. And so the scary part now is Thompson, he's going to get caught out.
Thompson, he
no,
did so well.
This is the gem too. What? What's going on?
He got a little desperate. I think he really wanted to protect the Phantom Lancer buyback, you know, and he's like, I'm gonna keep split pushing the same way I've always done.
Oh, this is glorious. This is truly.
All right, but if you're a forward, especially
I think you have to try to force
initiation.
the buyback. No, what you do is you got to be real careful. You send in your heroes that do have buyback, like you let Universe and MSS just kind of walk in.
So you have Universe just like go and hit the racks or something.
You let Universe and your DK go in. Sorry. Not MSS. And if they force the buybacks, then you immediately just try to disengage with whoever you can.
Yeah. Someone's definitely going to die, though. It's a lasso. There's no
you really want to force the Monkey King buyback here to put yourself in even straights. But because Roshan's up, I think forward, this is their breathe deep.
Okay.
Look at the, dude, just look at the gold graph in this game. This is the clowniest thing I've ever seen.
Up and down and up and down and up and down.
It's just Magic Mountain is now. They're going to fight without Thompson?
They're going to fight without Thompson? He has buyback, but there's no shrine for him to TP into. They can bring him in with a Chen, though, and that's exactly what they're going to try and do here with the initiation.
He doesn't find anybody.
In with the Aghanim Scepter, the Universe being pulled away with the BKB, though. He's not taking a whole lot of damage, but now the Wukong's man maybe will be an up the elf, gotten out of that big circle with a Will-O-Wisp as well, helping them out. Thompson is going to lead that Wukong's man stadium, and he's going to chase down SVG. Impossible doesn't get him, so instead he's going to turn for Yuar, where his team is actually disabling up Yuar so well, like he just gets ripped apart by the Phantom Lancer. He does have a buyback, but he's used his dragon form.
And this will be a 4-on-5 at best for them. As OG, they're going to see that Roshan's quite low.
Super low.
This is the refresher too. This would be huge for them. They're going to commit for this all in. Everyone's filtering.
It's giving them the vision here. They
can't actually get through this area. You gotta go now.
They're gonna try and get in, but it's too late. Age is already picked up by ILTW. And what does Forward do now? They can't fight. They can't go for that last lane of Rax.
Okay, so OG was down 7K, and now they're about to be up again in gold. Now it swings the other way. Forward with the almost 100% win probability for like, and then they bring it back to a 75% win probability.
Are you sure this isn't a disband game?
Oh, this would be
like it.
They've had like both teams. The crazy part is that both teams have had like 40 opportunities to win this game. It was Rezo getting caught out by that beautiful stun by JRX at top. Then Thompson throws it back by getting caught trying to push the wave, and MSS catches him.
ILTW, he's been level 25 for a little while now, but now he's got another spike. He's got Scotty. I mean, he's got 4,000 health. You see, when Forward try and focus him down, it takes a long time, even when they chain disable him, to be able to kill this Phantom Lancer. Now that he's got Scotty, it just gets even worse.
Is Scotty Aegis, like, oh, my heart. Still.
What do you do as Forward? Like, you can't take the shrink.
I don't know, Austin.
5, right?
I know for now it's their turn to win the fight, like 100%.
So somehow,
just judging by past history,
they're gonna lure OG into the fountain.
The win probability's like, come on, Daddy needs a new pair of dice. It's time to swing. I thought this game was ending like 9 times in a row. Somehow Forward's gonna make the miracle hold, I'm sure. It's 5-on-5 here. They don't have the best buyback situation ever.
Jerix burrows in behind ILTW.
Go Nest.
Forward. Oh, the initiation from Thompson tries to catch Resolution.
Rezo skittering around though, and it looks like they're comfortable giving up this Rax. They're gonna try to play for the Megas. This would put them even. 2 sets of Rex gone to 2 sets of Rax. But Yuar pops the DK form, and this is a bit of a commitment.
ILTW. Divine Grace is gonna help him out a little bit. He just keeps on swinging for those Raxes.
And he's got him.
And now they
have no DK form.
You use the dragon form. Don't you just like
commit.
as OG? Don't you just kind of like back up, wait for like 5 seconds? And
that's why Forward's smoking right now. They realize like we use DK form. This is our only opportunity to fight.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
And they're going to go for the back line immediately. Chaos Knight jumps in, managed to get the BKB, dodging the impale. The Will-O-Wisp is going to be able to catch the force as well. Top's been heads up. They're just focused on everybody but ILTW, and they should be able to kill him. MS is down ripped apart by ILTW, but Jerix is going to be caught. Resolution trying to go for him. Oh, Resolution barely gets off that time lapse before he's burned out of mana. ILTW stuck back inside the wards, gets away with another doppelganger. Seb managed to grab Resolution, and Resolution doesn't have the time lapse to be able to survive. No buyback for him either. It is just ILTW. He is pretty much 1v5ing forward right now. He's got so much HP, and he still has that Aegis too. UR no longer has the Dragon form. Oh, family. They take away that Aegis, yes, but now a second line.
Surround him. Surround him.
He's going to get the immediate stun. They will be able to get that. Universe going to chain it with the Chaos Bulk. And they
give me a fort.
Oh, no. They actually take away the cooldown for Muar, so he's got another Dragon stun. LTW will die.
I told you, Austin.
I did it.
It's got to go back the other way.
Forward hold. Unbelievable.
And now it's time for OG to ante up.
It's only Nyx Assassin. How could Jerix possibly
There's
hold
no
this
buyback
for OG?
for Beyond. We said that like 19 times this game, but maybe Forward have done it.
There's no buybacks coming in, right? It's not going to happen like last second. There's no
dream. I just knew that somehow Forward was going to do this.
Look at him pulling the waves.
The game couldn't end it any other way.
Yeah.
They just had to come back. They're marching down.
Yomar's going, he's picking up the death, so he's like, we gotta end this as fast as possible. I cannot risk us throwing again.
All right, now they call GG. Okay.
A valiant defense attempted by Jerix, but GG. Forward will be able to go 1-1 with OG in this series. What a wild cluster of a game.
The win probability in this.
They don't even look happy. Forward don't look happy at all about it. They're like, I guess we did it.
That was something. Just the charts alone. If I'm OG, I'm so disappointed because they had Aegis cheese.
Oh,
their
God.
PL was literally unkillable, and they killed Rezo at a decent time, and they still barely don't win that fight.
I mean, it was so cool how both teams in like, we both saw a scenario where it was just like, how the hell do we win this?
The thing about this is I feel like if OG just backs up and waits out the Dragon form.
If they just back away, right?
That's what Forward realized. They're like, oh crap, we actually just used Dragon form and committed it if we actually just had to fight right now. So they just marched outside their base. It wasn't even that good of a position, but they were like, if we can't fight without DK form, the game's over anyways. And I feel like OG got way too excited. They're like, guys, the game's over. Like, IPL can't die. Like, what?
How fitting it is that Forward
I told you. That's
closing out that game on
it,
basically a mistake. The reaction of the mistake of their Dragon form is what allows them to be able to take down OG in this second game. What a wild ride.
What do you say after that? Bananas? Silly? Ridiculous. It really was absolutely absurd. Where do you start? I don't even envy you guys because you've got to break that down now.
I love how you tried for the variation on the classic there, Red.
It wasn't working.
Yeah.
It wasn't working. I was trying to do the plan with it. It just. What a bonkers game.
Yeah.
I mean, fun, but riddled with mistakes in there as well. Let's just not beat about the bush here. There was lots of mistakes in there, and it was kind of like, as Cap said at the end, it was kind of right that a mistake ended the game.
15 minutes ago, I'm listening to Blitzcast, and I'm going, that's not how win probability works. Apparently it is.
That was, I mean, we have to rewind to, what, 50 minutes? 50 minutes ago? So, smart start. We'll go from the beginning.
Yes.
Smart start from Forward, put in the Shadow Shaman mid.
Yes.
They made this Monkey King suffer. Thompson suffered a lot throughout this game, got picked off constantly. MSS had an incredible performance on the Shadow Shaman too, getting all these catches. The supports in general on Forward played, I want to say, really well. It's just this game was super wacky.
Well,
I think they still did play really well.
For the first half of the game, though, James.
The Wisps alone, right? The Wisps alone.
Will-O-Wisp were incredible.
First half of the game, it was Forward's game.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
And suddenly you thought, hold on a minute, this isn't the same team that we saw in game one. They're actually playing cohesive Dota.
I still say with these two drafts, you give me two good teams, and the OG draft is going to win 7 out of 10 times. But in 2 out of the remaining 3, the DK gets early kills on Monkey King and takes his tower early. That's how they got into this game. By the time PL had his heart online, they have double Midas, double Maelstrom on their big cores. All of a sudden, those PL illusions waves them in fights. They aren't a big deal.
They also seemed very prepared versus Monkey King, not just in the lane. The way that they were also pushing their lanes, if you noticed, this was something very small that I actually saw Universe doing too, is when they were pushing down mid after they won like a fight and the Monkey King or one other hero was still alive, they would back up and run with the creep wave.
Right.
To make sure that this Monkey King can't just jump up and then jump down and clear it instantly so they don't have a creep wave to push. MSS, Universe, a couple of them kept going back and making sure they could guide their creep waves, or even look when they were expected he would do it. MSS caught him top when he was trying to cut the waves again. It's all about paying attention to that and understanding the Monkey King, what he can do with it. So it's nice.
We shouldn't leave this review of this match without saying that OG should have won that second game. They had a very big opportunity to do that.
I mean, it was dead even. After they came back. After they got the Aegis Cheese and Roast, just like Will and Cap were talking about, they were just like, yeah, our PL. So even I said it with Alan. I was like, this PL is immortal.
Yeah. But then I think what Will said at the very end there is totally accurate. That is exactly what OG were saying to themselves in TeamSpeak, and they got just too carried away behind that concept. When we're saying things like PL literally can't die, haha. We don't literally mean that.
Yeah.
And you can overcommit.
Was there an opportunity? It's always easy afterwards. It's Captain Hindsight, as we often say. Instead of going for the kills to have finished off that last Rax, put the pressure on, got the Megas, backed off. I know it's the more sensible route, and I have to criticize that. But at that point, they had a choice. They could have taken the team fight, which they did, and they lost. Or they could have gone for that last set of Rax and put Megas on, put pressure on forward.
Forward, I think...
I mean, it could have gone the other way around. Forward could have also done the same thing with top Rax. Right?
Yes, yeah. But I think Will had it at the very end, that Forward realized that if that last Elder Dragon form expires, that OG just flat out walk into the base and win the game.
Yeah, but he bought back without the ulti, right?
It came back up after.
That was before.
It came back up later on after they re-engaged. It just, I mean, the problem is when you're playing versus this is why I'm gonna talk about Coddle so much at this tournament. I think it's absolutely the best first pick right now.
Absolutely.
Except for maybe like the Chens and sometimes. But this hero just provides so much, and not just because of the Willow. These Will-O-Wisp were amazing, but even just a blinding light. How do you can't hit the buildings. Yeah. You're reduced so much and you can't itemize. You can remove it off of yourself. That's the one thing, sure, but you can't actually, like, MKB doesn't, it doesn't work with buildings if you're blinding lighted. So this hero provides so much inside these team fights.
And and again, it's the same point that we make with Wisp about how it feels like after the map changes in 7.2.0, there are so many more choke points. The same thing applies to blinding light, that you're getting multi-hero blinding lights in a lot of these fights.
Yeah.
Fault, it's your turn to pick an MVP.
Oh, man.
How do you pick one out of this lot?
This one is hard. Universe ended like 10-1. He had a pretty damn good game on the CK. The supports played super well too, though.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I really would like, if you're on the fence, I kind of actually like MSS.
I thought he played super well, but I don't know. I'm not good at picking these MVPs because I'm a support player, so I like lean and I'm like, ooh, the support made a lot happen.
All right, I think we'll go with MSS then. I think you picked it out. Why would you pick him out, Alan?
I feel like, again, maybe it was a team decision to bring him mid near the beginning of the game, but I think the first blood, obviously, for the Dragon Knight on the Monkey King, and then getting caught off guard when the DK skill does stun at level 3 because of the presence in that lane. I think that OG, again, we've talked about it through so many of these games, they haven't shown that they can survive a bad game by Topson against good teams. And that was what really put them on the back foot in so much of this game.
Oh my God. It scares the hell out of me.
It just comes up in your peripheral.
They didn't get to see it this time, but it just came out of nowhere behind me. MSS is now pretty happy though. Look at it. Beautiful lad. Yeah, no, he did play really well. And it was a very back and forth game, but it was exciting. And I mean, we've seen Topson at this event. He's struggling a bit. People are definitely seeming to understand him a little.
He's struggling, but
is it not up and down though, Alan? Because we've seen some good games and some poor games.
That's what he calls himself. He literally calls himself Flopson or Topson.
He does. He's struggling in the same sense that, like, Bulldog was struggling for Alliance after TI3, that other teams realized that they needed to prioritize shutting down his game and that the team couldn't necessarily adapt to that. And I think it looks like up and down play, but in reality, it's just the recognition by the opponent.
Okay, Good stuff. Thank you very much, gents. Time for us to head to a break right now. But of course, we've got plenty more Dota to come. We're only halfway through the day, in fact. We've done our Group A matches for days, numbers 3 and 4. And we're going to see the 3rd and 4th series in Group B. Coming up next, we're going to focus our attention on the boys in orange. That's right, the boys from Fnatic we didn't see yesterday will be in action against Chaos. They're both 4-0 so far. Who's moving to 6-0? We'll find out very shortly.
Chaos Knight jumps in, managed to get the BKB, dodging the impale. The Will West going to be able to catch the burst as well. Thompson been heads up. They're just focused on everybody but ILTW, and they should be able to kill him. MS is down there, ripped apart by ILTW, but Jerix is going to be caught. Resolution trying to go for him. Oh, Resolution barely gets off that time lapse before he's burned out of mana. ILTW stuck back inside the wards, gets away with another doppelganger. Seb managed to grab Resolution, and Resolution doesn't have the time lapse shield to survive. No buyback for him either. It is just...
Vodafone presents the pre-match.
This is ESL 1 Katowice 2019. We've just passed the halfway mark here on day number 2 of the group stages, and almost time to get into our third series of the day. Before we get there, however, let's just wrap up things nicely and put a bow on our second series of the day by catching up with SVG, who's alongside Shiva right now.
All right, I am here with SVG from Forward Gaming. SVG, congratulations on that second game of the series just now. That was a crazy ending, or at least from a viewer perspective. How did it feel for you guys to play that?
Yeah, that game was a bit hectic. Those games are always hard to analyze from your gut reaction, so it's always a game you kind of have to go to the replay and watch. But it was a fun game, so I don't really mind it.
It was a fun game to watch as well. You guys end up for, I think, now what, a 4-3 score, 3-4 score? 4-4? What's your score right now?
I'm not even sure myself.
I've written it up. I think it's 4 and 5 probably, actually. I just looked it up. It's 4 and 5, so I think you're still in the middle there. I think that as far as results go, obviously you want to do better. How are you guys looking at today and yesterday and how you played?
Mainly for us, we're trying to learn as much as we can in this group stage. It's pretty much like a game-to-game basis, trying to adapt and incorporate a lot of new stuff that we're trying to do. So some of these games look really sloppy and we kind of get stomped. Some of them we feel a lot more confident and structured in. So we just kind of need to try and bring that consistency up. And that's just the biggest goal.
And how do you do that? Is that, for example, like right now you're going to go back to watch the rest of the Dota perhaps for the other group? What's your plan there?
Yeah, I mean, some of it's you think you understand the problems and you're going to try and fix those and you have ideas of how to do it. Some of it is just like trying new stuff, seeing what works, see what's comfortable and feels good, and just building from there.
I got one final question about that last game you just played, because what made that game so back and forth, according to you? Obviously, without having seen the replay.
I mean, just at a basic level, I think our lineup can play the map a lot faster, but at some point they have this like level 25 PL timing that kind of becomes this wall where the game becomes a lot different once he hits this doppelganger talent. And so to me, that's kind of what the end game back and forth was like. I think we felt like we were in control most of that game, but this level 25 timing it's really hard to deal with for a lot of lineups. So,
all right. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me. I wish you good luck in tomorrow's games as well. And yeah, have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Paul.
Thanks very much, Shiva, and SVG there, just wrapping things up on our second series of the day. A series that ended 1-1 in the end and keeps Forward in with a shout of making the playoffs. Our third series is just around the corner, so let's introduce you to one of our two teams. First up, here's Fnatic.
When you think about professional Dota 2 teams in Southeast Asia, you think Fnatic. Although the current roster is very different to what it was even a year ago, Fnatic has come out guns blazing with the addition of NP, Ice, and Jabs to the squad. Truly, Fnatic now has some big names and will be seeking to assert their dominance throughout 2019. Their recent performances have been mixed, performing well in Southeast Asian tournaments but struggling to achieve much at both Kuala Lumpur and Chongqing. With half a year of practice together, they certainly have an edge over some of the newly reshuffled teams, but can Fnatic finally break away from their mediocre results and make it into the top 3 at ESL 1 Katowice?
The recent story of Fnatic. The boys in orange have started things off on fire here at ESL 1 Katowice. 2-0 victories on day number 1. They're looking to do exactly the same thing as they head into day number 2. And they start day number 2 against Chaos, who've also gone 4-0 so far. And to preview this particular match, we've changed our panel up. We invite Purge back alongside Kyle. Gents, welcome back to the desk. Let's start with the boys in orange and black and white and some other colours that they seem to use recently. We've said before, Kyle, this group is full of inconsistent teams. This is another one of those inconsistent teams. They are a bit backwards and forwards, but here they've looked pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't know, where is this narrative of Fnatic being inconsistent being pushed from? They made it to every major as the first seed. They're 6th in the points right now. They routinely are finishing in the top of their groups. Like, this is how you'd expect. They're 4-0.
Is it more that we've come to expect them to do better perhaps than they have? They've got that 5-6 kind of area locked down. How do they get over that hump and become a top 4, top 3 team?
It's tough to say. I mean, you look at the majors, right? You have the same 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
In both tournaments, it's hard. It's so hard to break into the upper, like the true S tier of Dota right now, and I guess that's where you could say their inconsistencies come in, because you don't really feel like they're on the same level as the Secrets and VPs, even though they're performing well. Like, it almost feels unrealistic to expect them to win tournaments right now. So
that's almost the same as everyone else, isn't it?
Yeah.
Outside that top 3. Kevin, they've got a decent lineup here, and obviously they've got a playmaker in the team, or a couple of playmakers in the team that they can play around, and you can kind of get something going from one of them.
I mean, they just have really high individual talent. They've kind of grabbed some of the better players from other teams from the previous season. So together as a squad, whenever you see them play, you recognize all of these names as being like top playmakers on the previous teams they're on. So them together, they have tons of potential. They're not placing top extremely consistently, but making the majors is going to add up, and eventually that should get them a TI placement. But I think part of it as well is just that the brand themselves, the organization, has been an org in the last 2 or 3 years that's always been like good, but not like incredible. So I think that downplays it a little bit as well with the reshuffling.
To be fair though, has any SEA team really been one, like since Orange Esports, like TI3?
Well, all of the players in C teams that I can think of are on this team.
Yeah.
So it's like the same story.
Yeah, well, maybe other than Moon.
The ones that he's talking about, top teams, players from Faceless. Faceless had streaks where they were winning tournaments and doing really well. Ice has consistently been in various points of his career on the top of the world on various teams. So they've got the right talent. It's just they have to maybe solidify, get consistent, and win some tournaments.
Yeah. And to that point, like this last shuffle, so much of the chaos that surrounded like the TI after party was about where DJ and Abed go.
That party was crazy.
It was. You remember?
People say to me like, "Really, were the people doing deals in the?" And I was like,
"Yeah,
you wouldn't believe. It's not really a party. It's just it's a place to gather for players to talk to other players about the possibility of them making a team or joining a team or leaving a team. It's an incredible thing to be part of.
To be fair, that it had never been like that before. But that was
hardcore.
Exactly.
That was way off the chart in terms of how crazy it was.
It's probably because like DJ and Abed are just super talented players, but they're far more reserved than your usual superstars. And everyone wanted to play with them, and they weren't really doing any of the negotiations. So it was like a game of telephone where you would talk to this guy, hey, do you want to play? Talk to the manager.
I mean,
the manager
what
goes
was quite
with them.
funny about it, I don't want to get too into this, but at one point I was halfway across the room talking to one particular player from the team who said, I think we've got Universe. I think we can. Oh wow, that would be really cool for you. I took a walk to the other side of the room, and someone grabbed me and said, I think we've got Universe. And I was like, oh, cool, because you don't know what to say then, because you're like, well.
Yeah,
that's awkward. I'm going outside. Crazy time. Let's move on. Chaos Esports also 4-0 yesterday, Kevin.
Yeah.
But against, I don't want to play this down too much, but against perhaps easier opposition, some would argue.
I think I would have agreed with you at the end of yesterday, but since then, as we left last night, Complexity was able to take a game against NIP, and that's one of the teams that Cole has been playing against. So Cole, despite seeming like one of the bottom teams, has maybe gotten more competitive, and it's not always the best thing to like match your strength versus like the two teams you beat at the start of the group stage. But I think it's safe to say that Chaos looked pretty clean as a whole. Their strategies made sense. I think they're decent.
And their drafting was particularly smart yesterday as well.
I was going to bring that up because, well, Aster's looked terrible. So I don't even know if I count like that series. But when they played Complexity, they outdrafted him in a way that's kind of underrated in Dota right now, where they recognize, well, Misery specifically, he recognizes his opponent's play style and abuses like their weakness. So Cole was trying to play like this all-in, snowball from lanes, just win the early game, take it. He all-in lanes, wave clear, and global mobility. They crushed the lanes and then just essentially farmed creeps until they inevitably won the game. Cole was running this like weird Naga strat. Chaos had like Zeus, Ember, like just all around the map, tons of damage. It was really cool to watch, and I think that they haven't really been tested truly yet because they just had such a massive strategical advantage in both of their series.
I mean, for both of these two teams, here's the first real test for them is in Group B, isn't it? Is this an opportunity for one of them to kind of strike out and maybe push one of those top two places to qualify?
I mean, they're on that verge for sure. Like, hypothetically, if Chaos goes 0-2 here, it could absolutely upset some of their seeding placements at least. I think the more exciting thing is that when if we get a 2-0 here, either way, we can determine who the best team in C is.
Yes.
My joke's just that Cole has a lot of C players on it. That's all. There's like many. When you're
Kyle,
like this weird Naga strat, like that's literally that's a miracle Naga. Like that's historic. If he didn't have to join the army for a year, this would have been like more of a staple the last few years, I'm sure.
If you say so. I know.
What I mean is
he's implying the miracle's like super good, but his time off relegated him to just bad. But that disparity would have changed if he had that year. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I disagree. But they're not even playing. Why are we talking about Cole right now?
I don't know.
What's that?
Feel free to elaborate. I don't mind.
That's my fault. Sorry. I wasn't trying to. I wasn't trying to focus on you or anything.
Has the wildness been tamed in this team?
Chaos?
Yeah.
Misery's trying.
Yeah.
I've spent. he's a good friend of mine, and even in like the major we were talking because we're like similar points in our like careers and lives, right? So I moved to broadcasting. He's still trying to play, but we're getting older. There's not saying you get sick of this life, but you start to you wonder like, hey, there's more to this, right? Like you're more interested in perhaps living your life outside of your team room. But the Brazilians specifically, I'm not going to name names. There were concerns at TI about players' dedication levels, and he has been trying desperately to whip them into a more serious state. You can have fun, but we also can do it responsibly. We don't need to go out till say 6, 7 a.m. the night before we have a match. Perhaps we just stay at the hotel.
Or maybe we
Turn
just
in
go
early.
out till 2 a.m.
Yeah, there you go. That's fine.
A little bit more sensible.
Exactly, and that you can see like they're being molded into something
responsible.
Yeah, with structure.
Are they willing though? Do you feel? Do they realize? Do you feel like these three in particular, the core of this Brazilian side that's been around for a couple of years now, do they realize that actually they are so close to breaking through to the really top tier?
It's interesting. It's all about your mindset and the way you set goals. And historically, the South American region has been near impossible to make it in. So the fact that these guys are at a point now where they have like a legitimate salary, they're going to all of these events, like they've made it. And it's difficult to set your sights higher once you've finally reached this level of comfort where you're satisfied. You're living the good life.
Sure.
And
but doesn't that not come from ambition and drive to win and keep improving?
Yeah, but I can recognize, like, as an example, like when I first started playing Dota, like the road to TI5 was a goddamn marathon. Like nearly killed me. Okay, we didn't make a single event, and we went through like 50 different players. It was brutal. And when we made it to TI, we won the qualifier. I was crying. I was just like, holy crap! It's like this weight has been lifted off of you. You've finally done this. But it sinks in like 2-3 days later. Like, wait, shit, that didn't actually matter.
Yeah, no, you haven't actually done anything.
Yeah, exactly. But you work so hard to reach this goal that it's demoralizing. It can it really messes with you because you realize like, no, this is. You finish the marathon and you're like trying to catch your breath and you look up, it's like, oh shit, the race has started.
Yeah, you've still got 3 more marathons to do.
Yeah.
So how does that relate to your previous point where you're saying like now they're comfortable because they have a good salary? Like you had a good salary, I assume. Like at least it was good enough. So how does it affect their motivation levels?
Because the goal is just to get here. The goal is to belong and be a staple of the scene. Like that's first. The first, it's. When you think that there's really 2 goals when you approach TI, even now for like most teams, most players, the first step is making it there. That's number 1. And only the people that have been there a couple times that have actually won or they've got their sights set on winning are capable of looking at it as just like this stepping stone versus this monumental task. And
it's good insight. We're into the draft for Game No. 1. Some pretty quick picks here and some slightly unusual ones. Elder Titan, it's been played, I think 5 times so far at this event and won all 5.
Yeah, I think Fog keeps talking about it. He's been talking about it for on and off for weeks. Like once he'll bring it up once in a while when we talk about strong heroes. And I haven't been super believing in it since it didn't do very well at WePlay whenever I saw it. But yeah, I mean, if it's winning here, it's working out well.
It is working out well. And the Sand King, have we seen? I don't think we've seen a single Sand King. Certainly not on the main.
Yeah, we saw a WePlay maybe once or twice tops, but when it got picked, I was like, oh yeah, that's a hero. I forget. It's not common.
I really like what Fnatic did here, and it's part of my concern whenever I would look at first 2 Darkseers, just Oracle shuts it down. Yeah. It's one of the few relationships between a hero that dumpsters you throughout the game and specifically the laning phase. Like, you actually just can't play aggressive as this Darkseer Sand King properly.
It also dissuades other picks later in the draft as well, doesn't it? So it's kind of it's a nice early pick.
I mean, it doesn't. You can't. The thing though is, depending on how many melee heroes you have, you can't really Fortune Zen everybody. And Ember Spear is already banned in the first phase, so it's not like there's other super crazy good counters that are left. I can't think of that many other heroes where on paper Oracle's the best. But I think Oracle's just like an effective early game hero. The only big weakness that this shows for Fnatic is they don't have good ganking and rotation really. Like, you can do like Ember, or you can do Elder Titan ganks, but they're kind of easy to dodge if you have the right heroes. Oracle can do some tricky stuff with Fortune's End, but I'm not super confident that they'll be able to rotate around if their lanes go bad. So it's very important that their cores have decent matchups, in my opinion.
I agree. I just think that you're fine with, like, ET Oracle. They're not looking to do too much rotating. But when you already see the Darkseer Sand King come out, you can assume that these heroes are going to look to, like, play aggressively in lane. Sand King...
So what you're saying, you just got to win that lane, and then it's relatively fine.
When you look at Darkseer Sand King, they're already invested, like, we're trying to wreck your off lane. Oracle shuts that down, and sure, Sand King could rotate, but like, it's not as effective as it used to be. The stun duration was nerfed a bit. His move speed, I think, was increased in this last patch, but it's just not... Roaming as a concept just isn't as strong. Neither is jungling, and that's what Darkseer Sand King lanes, when outmatched, would typically turn to. That just isn't value anymore.
Do you have a lot of experience with that?
What?
Getting outmatched with the Darkseer dueling?
Yeah, I mean, that was like, I think still my most played hero, but the reason it was so good then and not as good now is because you always had more, you just had more options. So sure, you'd prefer to be aggro and crushing a lane, but you would have no problem just jungling. Like, you used to start where, you know, I would double Ion Shell a wave and my 4 position is not even in the lane yet. He's just going to double stack camps. And then we switch.
You go clear them later once your lane pushes into their tower or something.
Exactly.
It's like, go do something efficient. Yeah, makes sense.
When was the last time you saw something like that happen, though? Like in this patch? You know?
Yeah. I mean, we have seen a little bit more jungling, but it's been a while since we saw multiple stacked camps.
Or you get that stack stolen by the other team.
Sometimes, yeah.
Even though the stacks are...
I had a lot of complexity matches, by the way. We used to make comments about that on the panels.
Oh, where you'd like 5 stack an ancient and then get it stolen.
And then they just get absolutely pillaged.
It's hard right now. It's not as many ancients.
Yeah,
people just don't stack as often, even though stacking's pretty good.
Thanks for the little tidbit, though, Paul.
Just thought I'd
appreciate it.
throw that
Remember that time you owned 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Mine was whatever. But yeah, I guess if they are planning to do the dual lane, which is likely, then yeah, Oracle will help guarantee that lane. And then if that's your opponent's 2 openings, you should be able to adapt to whatever else they go for.
That Pango ban. Send a lot of ice, Pango.
Heroes good at rotating and space creation in the mid game.
I really like the Slark ban. HFN Slark's quite good. He loves the hero, and even though it's a bit unconventional, you haven't really seen anybody playing it. It's so good against Oracle ET because you cleanse the stomp, you cleanse the Q from the Oracle, and more importantly, you find these supports. And if you're Chaos right now, you're looking for some sort of high reach core to identify and assault the back lines because that's how you win these fights.
It was picked earlier today as well. The builds are kind of reminiscent of original Sark when Sark first came out in Dota 2 and was played. It was like phase boots, drum. Just to like gap close, but now it gives you armor and lots of attack speed, and then they'd go like Diffusal Blade. I believe people are saying is the previous tournaments.
It's so scary. It's part of why Lesh is super value as well, because you buy all these high stat items that enable you just ready to fight. Same with Ember. You know, you get levels. You're more XP dependent than anything else. You have phase drums, and you just run around the map spreading chaos.
You just had to say it.
CM?
Spreading chaos.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Okay, thank you.
It's a good pun, though. And a tiny for Fnatic. It's been a reasonably flex pick for them as well. It's been played in 3 different lanes.
I like the CM a lot. I mean, Darkseer's Iron Shell mana cost is so much early on. It'll really help negate some of that. Yeah. Also gives them roam potential, disable potential. It's kind of good. Like,
so this Tiny, do you think is this offlane or is it an Abed Tiny?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think it's an Abed Tiny.
Yeah.
Especially against CM, it looks ideal.
MP plays it really well too, and I actually think that you're asking like why can't Fnatic win tournaments just yet? I think that, and a lot of people in the scene echo this, like MP as a player just isn't. It's hard because their offlaner, they're carrying their offlaner are off meta in their play style. you have an incredibly greedy player in Ice 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 that prefers, you know, these timber saws, like aggro tide hunters. He wants to be more of like that 2 position. And then MP, he ends up, when the team really finds success, he's on carries that don't take much net worth, or they are far more active, a la Tiny, Voids, Weavers. It's not the traditional hard carries.
So it's hard for him to like blow games up, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. He's like, he wants to, the team wants him to be playing things like Necro Tiny.
Yeah, I was going to say he's played a lot of Necro recently.
Yeah, and then anything EG, VP, like Terrorblade, Morphling, PL.
Yeah, his top 8 from the last month, MP's Lifestealer, Void, Timber, Jug, Weaver, Necro, Gyro, Ursa.
Yeah. More of the mid-game team fighters, fewer hard carries.
Chaos
it's about play style as well.
Ooh, PA pick here.
PA for Fnatic.
Pretty good against heroes like CM.
Yeah.
If you can get on top of her quick. Iron Shell's a little annoying to play against, I must say, with all those melee heroes, because before BKB, PA can actually die quite easily just by being fought for a while. But
I like it when you have ET, though, because it essentially guarantees you're going to win the late game, because if ET's in melee range and a PA jumps onto his target...
Especially with like a Deso or something.
Yeah. It's far too much negative armor, and 1 crit. That hero's just dead.
Yeah, it's can get pretty overwhelming trying to deal with her late game. But I mean, you can use Ghost Scepters. She can just use Freezing Field too, and then she's invulnerable.
Yeah. I really like those Chaos uniforms. Very clean.
Yeah.
Fnatic's are good too. Their merch line is crazy good.
Is it?
Chaos?
Yeah. No, Fnatic. Well, Chaos is good too. For different, they're like totally different styles.
Yeah, I was thinking you were talking about Chaos.
Yeah, Fnatic's like super loud streetwear type stuff. That's just got dragons.
Fnatic's been around a long time now.
That's true.
They've gotten pretty good at it.
Also, can we request that they send us like their merch for free? If you're listening, I'll compliment your merch if you give me one.
They did send me a keyboard recently. And
really?
Nice. Yes, so thank you to Fnatic.
Damn it.
You just have to ask them on Twitter. I didn't even ask them, I don't think. I think they saw I was like, I literally broke my keyboard, and I was like, guys, give me the name of a great keyboard. And then it was when I got inundated by different companies going, we'll send you one. So Fnatic very kindly sent me one.
We just need to move in a talent area where not only are we treated like angels with food and stuff when we get, but we start getting gift bags.
Yes.
And that's when like we get better.
Well, we've been giving gift bags every time we come to ESL.
But it's not like
coins in there, which I really love.
But it's like useful knick-knack stuff. It's not like here's a keyboard, mouse, monitor, new car in a bag.
The hoodies were good that we got in Hamburg.
It's true.
Wait, did you guys get gift bags?
It's usually like a hoodie, a branded hoodie,
t-shirt,
or a t-shirt.
We usually get like a special t-shirt and maybe a mouse pad with the design of that one on. So like the Birmingham one is different to the Hamburg one. The Hamburg one is different to the Katowice one. They're actually really nice.
That's cool.
Really, really nice ESL stuff. And then there's the coins in there, which I particularly like. They're in a little presentation box. You get to take them home.
You are experienced at selling out.
I'm so nerdy when it comes to that stuff. Seriously, I've got a whole cupboard full of stuff at home.
This is my free things room.
I do give some stuff away, but I keep the coins. They're very nice. Right, our final picks then for these two teams. A long time in these final bans as well. There's a Batrider ban for Chaos.
I like
still on the ban.
I love the Bat ban though, because right now Chaos have no heroes willing to tank Lasso, and they have no counterplay to it either. So when you already have the team fight advantage on Fnatic, which really Ultra Titan Oracle just give you this, if you give them the ability to have the initiation advantage as well, it's game changing. Especially I just love Bat ET because the Spirit removes all your magic armor. Lasso does damage now, so you just get the Lasso off. It provides vision, and when you play Bat, you need something providing vision so that you can consume it and get initiation and find kills. What?
So Chaos think that the offlane hero is missing.
Oh, they're gonna OD. Yeah, of course. Pug no OD.
That's why I asked, because I was thinking I don't think it's necessarily an offlane that's missing, but
yeah. And
why is the OD obvious?
This is their ban Pug now.
Oh, okay.
And it's just good. You know, you Astral someone into Spirit or ult, like so much setup, and it's nice to have double save. I love when you have Oracle OD. It's one of my favorite combos in this patch because the OD is not going to die. You get healed while in the Astral plane under the Oracle ult. So if the Oracle gets jumped, now you're saving him. And you look at the amount of team fight turnaround they've got. As soon as PA is BKB, like they're just all in, and that is a ballsy pick right there.
There's a lot of time. and they can always defend
10th
with
pick
ET.
Invoker.
So this game, Chaos need to control the map and tempo and just slay everywhere. Because if you get up against Fnatic when they have a double BKB online, you actually have nothing. You have nothing whatsoever to deal with the BKB on PA and OD.
I'm just excited
Two of the
for a
hardest
Wii
carries in the
Invoker.
match.
Is that...
It's hype. It's cool.
I'm looking forward to it immediately.
They've got good disable. They've got sinking stun. They've got frostbite potential. So they've got lots of ways to set up Sunstrike. It could definitely set a lot of tempo.
Yeah.
It's just tough because I think you want to be playing around the Darkseer Sanking lane primarily. You know, easy stun combo into Sunstrike, but there's an Oracle in that lane. I feel like you're already outlaned. You got to just crush this PA and then rotate a couple times to kill the Invoker's matchup in OD and just pray, I guess. But this game just feels harder for Chaos to execute. They could still win, don't get me wrong. You know, one Darkseer Vac into Invoker combo could be nuts, especially with the Sanking Stun on top. But I just don't see them able to puncture Fnatic's cores to find the support kills. And that's what they have to do consistently to win fights.
Okay.
It just feels hard.
They could run over their opponents. Darkseer, Ion Shell stuff, with CM roaming around the map, giving tons of mana. If they can just set crazy tempo, push them on the back foot, they could get so far ahead that they win. It's a possibility.
Okay, thanks guys. We're going to get more, of course, from both Purge and Kyle after this particular match. But let's bring in our commentary team. I'm sure they're looking forward to a Wii Invoker, gents.
Yeah, we actually have fantastic combinations. It's everything that I wanted to see.
I was going to say, you're very happy right
and I got
now.
another Titan. And he got an ET.
You do get an ET finally as well. So
yeah,
good game. Let's hope. Hopefully, it'll be a very competitive game between these two teams as well.
Yeah, we can hope for competitive. It's not like we're going to have freebies raining from the sky like obviously the panel gets to have every single day. But we get to have some high quality Dota hopefully and some fun saves. Yes, we have an OD in the mid. It's like I kind of want to address it before we can move on to the fun stuff. It's like having your vegetables before you can get into your steak, and then your like what I don't know what you have dessert in New York. I was gonna say trifle, but I don't think most people would know what a trifle is.
I'm not much of a dessert person. I'm allergic to like all nuts and all berries, so I can't really eat that many. But
yeah, you should actually see you should see Fogged here at the event. It's just like, well, there's a whole bunch of signs saying no nuts. And he's like, well, do we believe this? No nuts on a Snickers bar. I don't know if this is actually working.
It is quite hard for me to find a nice meal, but ESL does provide.
Yeah, they do. Actually, really good food. Yeah. All right, let's get into our game. Let's have a look at seeing where everyone's going to be moving in. So it's a bit of an old school of it's obviously no ES and Darkseer. We have the SK as well as the Darkseer. Yeah. Great for fighting later on. Got to watch those. No Iron Shell level up from Tavo already. I thought this is when you want to see that second level up in the Iron Shell, or he's starting with the Burrow Strike.
It's just because the Oracle, right? It's just like if you do use it, it's the threat of him just purging it off, and King RD is going to take some pressure. Should be okay to just back away.
But then how do you play the lane as a Darkseer? You're up against an Oracle. Okay, you can have your shell purged off, but so how do you then approach the lane? Like, do you just not spam out anything?
You have to you guys have to position yourself in this like weird way. The Sanking has to play like more on the side with the Ion Shell, and then you're supposed to like Ion Shell one of the creeps. There's like a couple of different ways. It's very hard either way, no matter what you do, to play versus an Oracle when you are a Darkseer. So Tavo looks like he's just gonna cut the wave. That's the method they're gonna take, and King RD's gonna lane on the first one. So it's a lot of different ways you have to just manipulate because it's tough.
Like he can cut the wave, but he can't actually keep the Iron Shell on him. HFN, not a healthy man up on top lane. Already been forced back a little bit by Ice and DJ, and maybe that's the other lane we can look towards. Ice on an initiating kind of like ganking style hero. Already makes for an entertaining Dota, but is DJ on the ET.
Yeah, really important to point out. I say this pretty much every single time you play versus ET is you have to block the hard camp. So step one, hard camp is blocked by Chaos, so that's the right approach right there. So the reason is, of course, because the ET stacks it over and over again. The Astral Spirit becomes ridiculous. We'll see DJ probably notice that soon, and then he's going to look to see which ones he can stack, or maybe even bring a sentry.
Tavo has a creep wave and a half with him. Jabs is doing the best he possibly can to try and deny up any of the units, but with King RD rotating over, this is where the farm is.
Yeah,
this is where the even opportunities against Jabs is.
I'm concerned in this laning phase for Chaos, just because of this in general. This Oracle is going to have a great time because he's just going to keep shutting this down. OD's going to have a good time in the mid matchup. Top, they should be able to start the pressure out. Even though they're dual melee, these two heroes, they hit hard.
keeping my eye as well on the Wii Invoker. Mainly his levels. He's gone 2 points up in the Exort.
Yeah.
He doesn't have Sunstrike currently invoked up, but this is that extra little bit of help that they can provide, as if King RD and Tavo could find some kind of opening against jabs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why they have like the CM and the Sand King, and then they have the Invoker last. Like, I hate seeing an Invoker where you have like no ways to set up. It used to be in the past where we'd see either like the Bane or the Sand King always picked with it just for that reason. But you can just set up kills on your own, and Tavo eating some more harassment, but continuing to do the same thing.
Even nicer when you get a regeneration room for King RD, so we can just move to the bottom lane and just harass. You surge him up a little bit, he gets the Burrow Strike off. I want to keep my eyes on that Sunstrike, still not invoked up, and it's not enough damage to find the kill just yet. Well, the top lane, everyone just keeps low. But there's no burst combination. Like, Ice is a level 2 Tiny. He doesn't really do that much just yet.
Yeah. A couple more levels and it becomes better for Fnatic. Because right now the Monkey King can be a little bit scary, but Crystal Maiden is so slow, and they're gonna both have boots on these two, on the Tiny as well as the other Tiny. It's gonna get scary for that CM to stay in the lane to protect that.
Problematic for King RD. Goes inside the Sandstorm. He'll have to wait in here, and actually, maybe not that bad. There's no way to pull him out of the Sandstorm.
He just moves around. Yep, good old Sandstorm. They don't have sentries, so they can't actually really do anything to bother him.
It's not like the old Sandstorm as well, where you could stay in you had to stay in one position, or else the Sandstorm would cancel.
Yep, just gotta stay in that AOE of it. Doesn't last the longest, of course. At the level, it's only 20 seconds. Abed continues to do great in that mid lane versus the Invoker.
Careful with the taunting. HFN was doing it while Misery was the one copying the avalanche hits. And DJ hitting hard, so does HFN. Able to get the slap down with a Boundless Strike, but the stomp, ice. Oh, that actually doesn't work the way they thought. Misery's already found the kill.
DJ is also in trouble here.
Yeah, while on bottom lane, King RD deep under the tower with Tavo. DJ will probably be able to get himself away from this one, while you won't. Actually, no, he won't. Really? Okay, I was having this debate. I was having this debate with Cap, I think, downstairs before, of is Monkey King actually considered a melee hero? Because isn't his range longer than the Luna's?
It is, yeah, it kind of is.
Goodbye, Crystal Maiden.
Okay, HFN still has the Jingus, though.
And he does.
Gets the Boundless. No Orb of Venom, though, to get like the slow for the chase. He has the movement speed, but DJ is here.
Ice knows it already, just salving up. Doesn't even have to back up too far.
Very nice there for Chaos, though. So just because like this also helps because of them blocking that hard camp. It just, this ET is being slowed down how much pressure you can do. They've now sentried that hard camp, so they will have it spawning soon. But some decent adjustments for Chaos, as you know, looking at their heroes, you'd imagine they could have a little bit of a rough start versus the Oracle and versus this OD and Tiny course.
But that bottom lane, MP's been getting so much farm. Sandstorm just looking to dodge and then stick around for the 5-minute bounty rune. MP's already leaving for the other bounty while up on top. Ice moved in a little bit deeper. He's running away from Misery without the Frostbite. Doesn't have a real great way to control up the Tiny. But it was all for the bounty runes.
Yep. How do we get the exchange? Just some
3 for 1.
3 for 1. Oh, nice.
Yeah, they were able to get both up on top Fnatic and then a 1-1 split on bottom lane. Going after DJ once again. Ooh. Misery actually consuming the Mango, able to get the at least Frostbite onto DJ. The jump up, Monkey King sleeping in the trees. He'll bounce back down again while in mid. King RD starts his own initiation, so DJ dies up on top. The imprisonment. Are they trying to set up? Buying some time for Ice just to come in, but with the Sandstorm, they don't pull him out of the invis.
Oh man, and that's an Ice. That's not a support Tiny, by the way. That's Ice Tiny making that rotation over.
Bottom lane, Tavo's in trouble. He's just got no way to get away. DJ will TP over towards the shrine, just to say he can be involved, but and there's a Darkseer who's not having the funnest time of his life.
Yeah, the Darkseer is at least getting blast hits though. Level 4, Soul Ring already finished with a raindrop. We look at the Tiny, 14 last hits with Boots and Bottle. So much more sacrificed at the moment. Even though that was only like 100 difference, it's the experience really that matters. Because Tiny's going to struggle a bit more to find that, while Darkseer's just going to keep going straight to the bottom lane, keep throwing those Ion Shells. Yeah. Tiny's going to try, but he gets pressured by that CK.
Tiny needs also more levels before he's effective, right? Because like you hit level 7 over on the Darkseer, he's got the level 4 Iron Shell. It still takes time with Tiny having to go like a point into tree throw. How long before he has the Avalanche Toss Burst combination together?
Absolutely. Like usually it's like these Tinies can just one-shot the supports a lot of time. Right now, Ice is not getting to that point. He's only level 4 at the 7 minutes, and he's getting gone on again up top.
Oh boy. having real issues while Tavo on bottom lane was having his own fun. Ice will get back safely. Tavo, he knows he can't surge himself away from this one because Jab just waits it out, throws the Fortune's End forward. Now the surge can be used. Nicely, patiently waited from Tavo. Gets his run off. Even with the Iron Shell on the melee creep, DJ was forced to take a large amount of damage while he was chasing Tavo down.
Yeah, I love the Tavo also just a casual raindrop, right? Just even though it doesn't really build into anything that you want, just having that versus Oracle is massive. You're able to block out so much of that burst damage and be able to survive a lot of the times that you maybe would not.
They're looking to go again onto mid, but thanks to the Dire Observer Ward that was left behind previously by King RD, they know that Ice moved into the tree line. So Crystal Maiden's nearby, they already get the Burrow Strike out. Tiny, he throws the Avalanche, but with the OD Imprisonment, they're not getting the layering of stuns they really wanted to have. Weeha, he's low. Do they actually have the Eclipse? Yes, they do. 3 heroes moving in from Chaos Soul. 1-for-1 trade-off, but then slap from HFN and the follow-up Burrow Strike. The Sandy's Eclipse can never get off. He had some good intel stored up.
They got the control off on him. I actually saw him. He popped Salve and was trying to cast Astral on himself while salving. So he used the Salve and just died immediately right afterwards. But heavy rotation by Cass. And like you said, having that early ward in mid is being being everything for them. They did lose Weehaw, but at least they get a return.
Yeah. It kind of delays the Invoker. It's not like Hand of Midas was nerfed recently. Oh, wait, it was. Wonder exactly how much 200 gold every single use really matters. Ice.
200?
Up in the trees.
Tiny.
Yeah,
nice.
Frostbitten up.
And he's dead again.
Yeah, he'll go down.
Okay. So they're just
20.
Yeah, 20. I know. I got. Yeah, don't worry.
The 200 to 180.
Don't worry. I said 180-minute cooldown in the earlier cast. I was like, wait, that's a long time.
Hey, at least I remember the nerfs. If people didn't actually realize, I've been studying mechanics recently. It's going as well as my lessons to learn Chinese. Tavo, he's in trouble. 3 heroes with the extra TP coming over. MP really wants to find this kill. King RD might be able to create some space, going in for the Burrow Strike, but then instant Eclipse from Arbet. He doesn't want to wait it. The Sentry Ward planted, and King RD, he's just on the edge, but he still walks far enough that the Sandstorm is cancelled. And there's 2 heroes. The Sunstrike! MP!
The body block almost got him killed. That was terrifying.
For a start, I'm like, oh, my OD's gonna share the load. It's gonna be like, you'll be okay, but no. Could have been next level, and well, it wouldn't be the first time Weeha's hit those BS Sunstrikes.
It's true. Now Tavo has recognized. He's like, all right, I have my raindrop. It protected me a couple times. Not anymore. I'm jungling. I'm level 6 still. While this Tiny, Ice keeps dying. He's only level 4 on Tiny.
That Sunstrike gets to hit, and that's what Weeha needed. He needed the money, farming the creep wave he's got. That's enough money to finish up the just under 10-minute Hand of Midas.
Nice. He's got it at a pretty damn good pace. I mean, looking at the ODs, 1,000 shy of it. Went for a bunch of small items, of course, but you've got to imagine if you're Weeha, you're very happy with this as rotations are coming in.
Yeah, they're coming up to Arbet. Originally, this movement was coming in for the 10-minute bounty runes, which will spawn up. Now, Monkey King will get both of the top ones. And the trade-off will be Fnatic taking both at the bottom, so it ends up being a straight trade. But having a regen rune now for Invoker, thanks to them controlling the northern side, even better for Weeha.
Yeah, I was wondering if we would see MP go for the Battle Fury this game, because the one reason is when you have an Elder Titan, he is going to stack naturally. That's just what you're going to do, even though in the laning phase, maybe not so much. We now see DJ, he's starting to get those stacks online, and immediately Tavo's actually stealing some. But yeah, the PA is going to be going for Battle Fury to clear those, but great job by, I said Tavo, King RD to steal these.
Yeah. That Battle Fury pickup you're mentioning, it is interesting. Like, instead of going for the extra, like, straight-up damage getting into the fights, going for the farm-style game, puts a lot more pressure on people like King RD to get aggressive and into the jungle.
I think the thing that Fnatic can look at and realize is, like Kyle was mentioning on the panel, is you look at their lineup and their late game is unbelievable. Chaos, sure, they have the Wombo combo, which can also, you can't ever like just rule out, but BKBs are the name of the game for Fnatic. When they have those, the combos just, you can just walk away. You don't have to worry about
on top. Ice. It's just this easy chain stun. No reason to even build up the Jingos. HFM will still get the last hit.
Is that 5? That is the 5th death.
Four kills actually going the way of HFN. I don't know how many of them are actually being the death of the Tiny. But you can see where Tiny's spending almost all of his time. Northern side, never roaming, never really having an influence on the map. But that's also an Ice thing. He doesn't always just bounce out the lane too early. He waits for the critical items that actually let him do something. It just can sometimes be that sacrificial lamb on the side lane.
Yeah, he's just hits level 6 finally, but yeah, this Monkey King has been enabled a lot. Almost level 9 with that Midas, going for the quad Ogre Clubs he queues up. It's an Echo Saber, of course, but It's a typical HFN thing, queuing up 4 for one item. The 4-hand of Midas is the 4 of X item.
He's got that nervous tick on the finger. That's all it is. DJ, that's a nice stack if it only it worked. But still, large amount of Ancients for him. Help if there's any kind of push from Chaos down that mid lane.
I believe that's the Midas for OD. Okay, we got a farming game on our hands.
We do.
Battle Furies and Midases.
Hey, we're actually joking about this before we started, everyone. I was like, okay, how long can a game go on? Because the last big game that I remember of Fogged and I casting, like, you remember more straight after.
Yeah.
But I remember the almost 2-hour-long game that we cast in the qualifiers.
Empire Vega.
Empire Vega, but you also remember the grand finals of last Katowice, in fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that one was like almost a, what, 150 something minute game. I don't know, that was crazy, but
yeah,
quite some time ago.
We seem to get lucky. Like Kyle always says, he's my rabbit's foot. Like he's always the one that gives me like the most fantastic games in all the series of all the world.
You guys have gotten some good ones.
We really have. But yeah.
This one is going to be a bit slower because we've got those Midases. We know that he doesn't want to. This is his home. He doesn't want to walk around. We know how Invokers played. Once he gets Aghanims, he can start joining his team more. So right now they have to kind of rally around the Monkey King, who he has phase Midas. He's not really the most threatening. But the thing is that Fnatic, they've been slowed down. Their biggest playmaker in this game is Ice, his hero. And he's been completely, like, he's kind of just out of this one for now until he gets some more catch-up time.
I don't know if that catch-up time is really going to help him, though. Like, pickups like this will help. MP jumping forward towards Misery. He's got Frostbite available. Courier's not bringing anything of real value. They want is the O-Club for HFN, who's now looking to jump in, going after MP, a Dark Seal Ball. That's going to hit absolutely nothing. In fact, Tavo will die instantly after giving MP a nice injection of money, and this will speed up the time of that Battle Fury.
I did not think that they would play that aggressive right next to a shrine. As soon as like the CM starts getting chased, I see Tavo charging in. I'm like, whoa, Tavo. That's a Darkseer when you're playing into an Oracle. You really have to be careful how you're, surging yourselves into these situations. And there's an Oracle. So if you do even maybe set up for a kill, there's a false promise that's going to come out. You need more backup. So that was a little bit of an overextension there.
That's when I actually started to get worried about my point I was going to make, where it's like, hey, Chaos is really good at slowing this game down with split pushing, because you've got Iron Shells to push out the lane. Monkey King is very versatile, how far he can jump. Even Sand King, they don't have an easy way to gank him up because he's got the Sandstorm for Invis, already seen multiple times used to get him away. So, yeah, all this is great. Oh, I just fed 2 hero kills underneath the shrine. They do see the triple Ancient stack, Tiny's nearby, but it's Monkey King sitting on top and now backing up. Sees the ET Spirit, but the Burrow Strike forward, Arbed frostbitten up. That Boundless Strike will not be able to connect onto Arbed. And I'm not exactly certain what Chaos wants to achieve here. You do not have Darkseer ready to fight. He's still farming up on the top.
How close is he to anything? He's pretty, like 450 from the max, so that's probably what they want before they try to take any fights, because they are playing man down. Invoker is still jungling until that Aghanims. So they want to have at least like that item advantage before Weehaw comes and joins.
They need mech. They need Aghanim Scepter. SK needs Vlad's.
He's going Vlad's instead of the Blink, it seems, this game. Which
Are you okay with that? Like I'm sort of okay with it if this game remains slow.
The one thing is like the Blink with the Darkseer is just too damn good. The thing is that I haven't seen much Sanking. Right? I don't think I've really seen like any Sanking.
I haven't seen much Darkseer either. The one that we saw was a wall that would just kind of cut off a line. That was it.
It all depends on how you play around it, right? That's how item choices are made. It's like the item can look really terrible if you use it terribly, but if you use it to the way it's supposed to, then sure. So we'll see how he makes the Vlad's work. He's just going to stand around his teammates and just make them buffer. And having these auras is always amazing versus Elder type. You always want to have any type of plus X, plus armor, etc. versus ET, so that if he is next to you, the aura won't be so powerful.
They'll have a lot of heroes who have the life and the items to actually survive this, because if you look at the net worth, the bottom 4 positions, 3 of them are Fnatic. Because they're leaving the SK on the bottom lane, he was alone until now, but Darkseer, while that little tangle, like the standoff was going on in mid, he was spending all of his time up on top lane, farming up, leveling up, and doing it in a solo environment as well. So Chaos are almost running this like 2-3 style position.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's also maybe that could also be like the reason why it's like a Vlad. He's like, I might just be split pushing for a really long time. Vlad just helps me even split push more.
Does it free up Darkseer as well? Because Darkseer could have easily bought the Vlads as well, but maybe
he doesn't want to. Yeah, he doesn't want to though. He wants his mech. He wants Greaves. He wants to go for that pipe / whatever if he wants to go for that this game. I think Crimson probably more likely, but
He went for the 90+ damage, so no evasion. It's all about the punch. ET, Spirit in the mid. They're going to go for the splitter as well. All on the Sand King. Burrow Strike up into the Sandstorm, but they still had the vision. Sentry Ward was planted, and SK was just on the edge of it. Unfortunately for Abed, he's crap at destroying buildings. In fact, everybody here is terrible at destroying buildings, and MP can't stand the front lines. He's got a Battle Fury completed, but that doesn't give him survivability if he gets initiated on.
But with that Battle Fury, we're going to see that. We already saw it pretty much instantly on that net worth. He cleared some of those stacks and just really catapulted himself forward in both net worth and levels. I think he's near level, what, 14 now on PA almost? Yeah.
And he's #1 net worth. He just got in front of Wii.
And the whole timing, like we mentioned, this game, sure, Battle Fury is great, Desolator's great, but it's really when that BKB comes, how can Chaos take the fights for some? As right now they're looking to actually pose a threat. ET Spirit coming through.
That was a very blind jump forward from HFN. As he said, the ET Spirit eclipsed the edge of King RD. The Tier 1 tower will fall. That's all Tier 1 towers now dropped of Fnatic. And nothing of Chaos has actually been lost, apart from heavy chip damage in, oh hey, more than a chip, into that top Tier 1 tower. And Chaos want to try and establish more map control. They're moving in deep, 3 observe wards on Misery, and they'll see DJ starting his run back down the small stairwell.
Yeah, you have to play control the ancient area, right? When you're playing on Dire, that's probably one of your better goals. You control this, you control a lot of the map for Fnatic, and also you control like that Roche area, even though you're not gonna go Roche, neither is Fnatic.
Fire Strike, Oracle walks straight into it and gets Sunstrikes down. Perfect control factors. Yeah, but fantastic one as well, just to point out the Ancients. Ever since the second Ancient camp got removed, like this northern side is even more important.
Absolutely.
Look at him move. They just want to go into it. OD jumps in. They'll isolate the Crystal Maiden. She got nothing she can do to help out. The imprisonment breaks free. Burrow Strike, King RD has Sandstorm available, and we go into the Wukong's command. Fnatic inside of it, the toss. Ice didn't get him outside of the Wukong's command. The ET Splitter will not be able to function as they come out of the imprisonment. Arpeb goes down. Enough damage from the Sunstrike of Weeha. It's still Tavo involved in the 3-on-1 fight. And the man who was there to help out with a kill from afar is Weeha, who's just free farming up top lane. It still looks like a very over-aggressive fight for Chaos to get into. And it was a ward mission.
They walked directly up onto the high ground to do these wards. They're going to know that ward is probably there too. It's going to get dewarded to MP.
You've got Freezing Field available. Misery's going to let it go. MP can just Phantom Strike himself away. He jumped down towards Jazz, but now the Call Snap. ET Spirit down with the Stomp. They jump forward, turning around. A cool crit onto Weeha as MP couldn't follow up. The Frostbite of Misery. Once again, that control factor.
He looked like he wanted to jump there for a second, but everybody's respawning. Gotta be a little careful. Yeah, Fnatic, they still have this massive potency of the OD ult. And especially if you're an OD ult next with an Elder Titan Spirit on top, right? Like, the amplifications that's going to come out from that is insane. And that was actually a really nice toss, even though he didn't throw him out of the ult. He landed right on top of everybody. Yeah. So they got a nice combo from it. So Ice now he's starting to be able to join the fray as he's completely caught up, actually. He's almost level 12 with that Blink Dagger now. He's similar net worth as a Darkseer. That's pretty huge, these last series of events.
You can get those solo pickoffs, and Misery knows, okay, I'm back behind towers at all times. I'm only inside of vision. I remember when the draft was happening, you were saying, like, okay, like, why the CM? It's aura.
He's
like,
an aura, yeah.
He needs to be able to provide that for everybody.
His ult gets to a point later on, of course, that's, that armor is a lot. It really is, if there's not a disable for her. But PA's going to be hitting pretty hard. As she does have a Desolator.
She has
already.
a Deso, so Roshan's on the menu. Sunstrike, Weeha's thinking exactly the same thing. It's like, where are they? Fnatic was thinking also similar. They were standing up on the high ground, but there she jumped forward. Ice with that blink, tossing back. HFN, he's going to go into the Wukong's command. I don't think he'll live long enough for it to actually fully complete.
You said it yourself. This team on Fnatic, they don't really kill objectives that well. Now with the PA with the Desolator, sure, but that's the way they get objectives. Get a kill into it, and now they'll commit forward into that Roche.
Bottom lane is pushing in a little bit to the tier 2 town, but this isn't that old school like Radiant treat their tier 2 tower on bottom lane for Roshan.
Chaos has strong team fight though. If they can actually get in that area, the Invoker's got the Aghanims. Everyone else is rushing over. There's no BKBs yet on Fnatic, so they are susceptible to all of that AoE.
That Sunstrike, it only could... Oh, hello, Misery. He'll be okay. That Sunstrike only connected onto the PA. I don't think MP would have wanted to back off like that unless that actually happened, because he went down to 50% of his HP. Too risky if Chaos wanted to initiate.
So they can't actually get it.
Sentry was a little bit too far out. The Observer Ward does see a hell of a lot from Fnatic. looking at this wraparound, ice, how much do you want? Jabs, he feels like bait. ET Spirit Stomp goes down onto Crystal Maiden as well as the Sand King, but he's hidden inside the Sandstorm, even surging and iron shelling up the SK, but King RD doesn't see anything he wants to go on.
There's a full hex on the OD that he just picked up.
This is huge for him. The control, the disable, the increase in intel, but at the same time, Darkseer wall causes a couple of problems for Fnatic, but where's your follow-up? Is coming in from HF, and he doesn't have the Wukong. He's just trying to kill off DJ and remove this ET. Misery will control him a little bit, but the bigger damage is MP in towards Misery. He'll finish the job. Same with Arbeck in the Eclipse down, the saving of Jabs. They tried to go in on the OD, but they could not find the kill. Finally, the Sleeping Monkey is put down.
Dead.
Goodbye, Invoker. And Fnatic, I believe now with 5 heroes up and Chaos with 0 heroes up, you can take Roshan.
That was incredibly awkward the way they walked up and forced that engagement. Look, they actually weren't able to get, like, they got a decent amount of spells off, but the way that they connected, they did minimal damage. Pretty much everybody on the side of Fnatic was like walking around a little bit on the outskirts there, and then they have the, like we said, the false promise. It comes in, OD's fine. It even was awkward. Abed was like unable to actually like attack a lot of times in the fight too, because he was afraid because the Monkey King got Fate's Edicted, so he was like, oh god, he's immune to magic, so he kept stop canceling his ulti. But overall, they had such a good position.
I'm loving this timing. Ice waited just a fraction of a second longer for DJ to arrive on bottom lane. King RD, Burrow Strike up, they already triggered the dust, they had 100% can see him, and Tava wants to help him out too. He surged forward, he'll need to back and pull him back in. Maybe with the Greaves, they just have enough life, tossing the Darkseer in, King RD will still survive. But it was a nice combination. It's like, hey, DJ, put your spirit down. I need to be amplified. I need to actually have some extra help here. The 4-4 combo is not enough to kill off the SK.
No, not when he's past level 10 with the 200 health talent. You're actually super tanky on Sand King. So even without the BKBs...
We get to see this fight once again.
Yeah. So they got the sentry down. They got King RD before he was able to get anything off. So they got the wall off, but Weehaw, look at Weehaw's positioning here and watch what MP does onto the Invoker. So we're going to be watching this Invoker. MP just immediately jumps on and makes the fight awkward, right? He has to go into Ghost Walk, and then they're all segregated. They're all split up throughout the fight. You see Abed keeps canceling his ulti there because the HFN was Fate's Edicted, but then just the hammer gets dropped, how much intelligence he has, and they have a save follow him. So.
Yeah. It's probably the best example of a fight from Chaos, which didn't have its combination that we were expecting. SK's Burrow Strike on the end of the Vac. Yeah. Like even if you Vac wall at that point, you still need a more control down, or you need to have Invoker getting the combination. But as you said, like you zone out the Invoker, you kill off the SK before the fight can even begin. It's okay, well, this doesn't work, and you can see King RD with the Blink Dagger. He needs to have this in his inventory.
Exactly. They absolutely need just some way to start the fight. Right now, they just walked up a high ground with very minimal to no vision into a 3 or 4 man squad of Fnatic. So when they have that blink, then they can smoke, get a ward down, and then they instantly go for the jump plays.
Even at a point, they had the high ground. They backed off it because they didn't have the information. Sentry Ward came down and was like, oh, I guess SK didn't get the memo, or he just wanted to stay inside the sand.
Yeah. Well, also the thing is too is like we look at Chaos's lineup and they're great at fighting in these little clustered areas, but at the same time, that's ET's best play ever. He loves those little ramps because he will catch everybody inside of a Stomper and ulti.
The push is coming from Fnatic on top lane. They're trying to get into that tier 2 tower. And it's still a little bit of free farm for King RD. This will give him his Blink Dagger, so Fnatic want to push into the tier 3 tower. That Blink will be available for the SK. And it's some level of damage from Weehaw into the tier 2 as a trade-off. It'll probably force a TP back when you're Alacrity up the Forge Spirit. No, they just fortify. By a little bit more time, even unable to kill the Siege Creep in mid.
How are these BKBs looking? It's got to be coming out at least for one, if not both of those big cores on Fnatic. I think it is both BKBs, and they won the fight, like I was saying, without them before, and that is the best item in the game versus Invoker.
And you had a pipe on top of that too. So ET finishes the pipe and the BKBs for OD and PA.
But Misery got a Midas.
Yay!
Misery got a Midas.
Why are we celebrating this so much? Like,
is
this just because we're entering Midas Gaming again?
Does he get an item?
Oh.
There's somebody who got an item finally.
Yeah. Sacrificial. Yeah, she should be looking more towards the Oracle. The Oracle has less net worth than the Crystal Maiden.
That is true.
But I suppose his items actually do a little bit more. Burrow Strike coming forward. Ah, that tornado timing not exactly perfect. And way! MP arrives. And King RD disappears. Weehaw wants to go on the run. The dust came out from Tiny. They have to ice wall Weehaw. Only way to ensure that no one's going to chase them down. But a really good pick-off. Once again, King RD being caught out of position.
Yeah, it's quite a lot this game so far. I understand why he went for the Vlads. I really do think that they needed this blink so much in this game, though, and it's starting to be a bit painful now in these last few moments as they've lost quite a lot of momentum on their way.
But the high ground of Chaos is still quite strong.
There's BKBs and an Aegis, though, so a lot of their damage can be negated. But yeah, Monkey King is still a super threat if you are trying to go for...
Hey, I'm still waiting for an Epicenter to be in one of these fights.
Yeah.
Hello, Monkey King! Jump in, HFN instantly down to 1/3 of his life. The tree toss is coming towards him, and he just keeps bouncing back all the way to the shrine. A Bio Strike followed with the Sun Strike. PA is going to lose a lot of life, down very, very low. Send him back up with the Tornado, and they got the Deafening Blast pushing him out, but he's able to Phantom Strike away. Even while he's disarmed, they could have burned the Aegis Immortal without expending too many massive abilities. You've still got Darkseer wall down. But this is Chaos scrambling defense. A Blink Dagger. They've got the combination.
Got the combo, finally.
Blink Dagger onto Tavo. He surges forward, but now you've already used the meteor. Down for about a minute. BKB from HFN. It'll come out. He gets a slap onto Arbed. They put down the ice wall, try to slow him down, but MP just gets chain critted into HFN, and you'll say goodbye to King RD. I thought he just came back from the World of the Dead.
What? It was crit into not crit into crit into... I think it was even a third crit, maybe. I know I saw at least 2. I saw at least 2 crits within 3 or 4 hits.
A 75% conversion rate potential.
Oh my god.
And they just rip apart the top tower. Tiny hits like an absolute truck, especially when he jumps forward, throwing back Weeha. The Hex, he'll have to buy back if they're going to defend this one. Same from HFN. A good double stun into the Wukong. Come on, but Arbed just turns the BKB on HFN, dying so quickly.
He didn't have
has 28 stolen intel. He's ready to go, and without the BKB to protect him, they actually just call it. GG, well played. Fnatic have broken through Chaos's defense line. And I gotta say, Chaos, they hadn't finished building the wall yet.
Yeah. Oh man,
there was some holes.
They had a decent time, and then everything just completely fell apart super fast after that fight on the shrine. I think it was like they walked up the high ground trying to do the warding mission in the Radiant jungle, and then they went to do that again up there, and they got punished super hard. Fnatic was there ready. I really do think they may have actually needed this Sand King Blink Dagger earlier. Honestly, they needed it for the initiation.
Is it worth actually not completing up the Greaves? I wonder on that question mark for Tavo. Like, just you weren't getting all the farm in the world. Was it worthwhile finishing Greaves before delaying the Blink Dagger?
Maybe, I don't know. It just seemed hard. It seemed like they forced these fights into high ground, and Fnatic was just actually just there. It just completely turned on them so quickly in just a matter of moments.
It did help though with MP's luck. Like that was
crazy.
That was some good RNG. 1309 on the Phantom Assassin. He ended up doing 21,000 hero damage in what was a relative short game. I think his hero damage is almost we as well as HFN combined in just one hero, the Phantom Assassin. Bought him time. Oh, there was just great momentum from Fnatic the whole way through.
It was, and they had a game plan from start to finish. You could tell they were like, all right, get your Battle Fury ready. Gonna stack for you. All right, ice, ice, ice. Well, you're sacked completely. The rest of us are gonna have a pretty okay time though, and that's, you know, someone has to be the sack. That's how we usually talk about it in Dota.
He was sacked, but he was still such a great influence.
He did, like, he actually did.
This is what we expect from Ice, 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 and what we expected from Fnatic, a high quality game of Dota, and Chaos gets to be the first team out of these two to actually drop a game. Like, these were the undefeated teams going into this series, but so far Fnatic off to a great start. They're 1-up.
Yes, they are, and fantastic performance for them as well. We'll break it down here on the panel with Purge and Kyle. Kyle, we'll start with you. That's a really good performance.
Yeah, I felt like it was kind of scripted. You know, they had this really tiny window as Chaos where maybe they could make some things happen. I think all the points the casters made are about the same I would. You know, Fog's on.
We should have got them on.
Yeah, really, because I've seen that game so many times already in this meta where you have one team that's all in on this idea that we're going to snowball, we're going to find kills, we're going to abuse just our mid game, and the idea that we're going to be so far ahead that we'll be the ones that actually carry through the game. But OD gets BKB, PA gets BKB, you win one team fight. All you ever need as Fnatic is one team fight, and they wiped them around the Roche pit, and they're like, okay, give it another 10 minutes, this one's over.
Yeah. Kevin, anything to add?
I mean, they were using their disables well, and they were trying to pressure, but it's just so difficult to win fights successfully against heroes like Oracle and OD. So you talked about the double save. It made it so difficult to just banish a guy, walk away, or save an ally and elongate a fight. Because you know, the more time that they elongate these fights, and Elder Titan on top of that, it's just so many ways to just shut down a fight or to make a fight give you a chance to disengage and make sure that it isn't a chaos win.
I think off that point, I think it's a really good idea where you have two methods of combo breaking on the side of Fnatic, and the entire lineup of Chaos is built around this concept that we're going to land this huge vacuum. We're going to immediately win a fight. If Fnatic can just buy time, eventually you're going to have a two-man stomp, a big crit, like Odie can drop the hammer. It just, you're so much more favored in long fights than Chaos is, and I just don't know how to win games on this patch if my team needs to win 6 or 7 engagements and you only ever need 1.
No.
Like, it's so hard to stay ahead an entire game because you're banking on playing perfectly, and it's just not something you can do anymore. These teams are too good, everyone's too closely matched, and I felt like Fnatic would win this game 9 times out of 10, if not 99 out of 100.
You were a little critical of MP before this game. How do you think he fared in the game?
Pretty well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he crushed. He did his job.
Yeah.
Decent laning performance. Landed some crits. I mean,
on the other side of the
consistent. He's the super consistent player. That's always the only criticism against him is that he never does incredible outlandish performances. That he's consistently good, but he's not necessarily Abed. Abed's like consistently amazing, I would say. But MP's up there towards that area, and he's got this narrow range of performance where he's almost always going to do the right thing. He's just never going to blow you away, and I think that's completely fine when you talked about how much space he has on the team.
I think the best comparison for him is going to be like a Yawar on forward, or what's his name on
what team?
I was thinking NIP. No, CCNC. Sorry, CCNC when he played for Optic, where it was always Pycat and 3-3, right? And if they were to lose, it's like, well, the mid player, CCNC, like, this guy never does anything special. And that's the exact same kind of flack MP gets because he is not their flashy player, but he's on a position typically associated with these big plays. But you just can't do that. You got ice off lane. Right?
I was going to talk about ice. You know, we talk about him as being a flashy player, Kevin, and he is capable of being incredibly flashy and incredibly creative in the team. But he's also prepared to be the sacrificial lamb if he needs to be.
I mean, it was a rough matchup, right? You're a tiny with no armor until you hit level 6. He's against a Monkey King who does damage.
Well, he's sacked, isn't he? He's like his team are kind of like, well, look, just do whatever you can do in that lane.
I mean, essentially, they picked Tiny. They shifted it to the offlane hero because they probably thought that mid lane maybe they'd change plans. And then he had a bad matchup. I mean, Tiny's not going to do well against a melee hero, especially one that does physical damage as his whole benefit. So yeah, just it's a bad matchup.
But he was okay. He'll take that for the team.
I mean, and he gets killed. Crystal Maiden focuses there. That means Invoker doesn't get out of control. That means OD does fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, would you agree, looking at the items picked up here, I think 3 Midases for Chaos is far too many with the concept they're trying to execute.
It's not the same for every team right now.
Yeah, but you are never going to be satisfied. Like, you're never winning the game after 45 minutes, as is. And it frees up Abed to go for this incredibly greedy OD build. Even Midas Sheepstick BKB.
Don't forget that Meteor Hammer.
Yeah.
True.
I don't know why that's
crucial Meteor Hammer.
He did it for the end game just to finish it off. The beams.
It seems a little crazy to me on Crystal Maiden to go Midas when you're against a PA.
Yeah.
Because what you're always trying to do is just stay a little bit ahead where you can like go Scepter before she jumps on you, or Glimmer Cape, or Force Staff, or something. And instead you're just like, I have my gold hand at least. I don't know.
Yeah. It just felt like Chaos. They were playing for a win condition that never existed in the first place. They were chasing a mirage through the desert,
very tough,
only to find themselves alone.
They had to win like mid-game team fights really hard, and then have that advantage plus Midases was what they're aiming for, I think.
Yeah, very tough game indeed for them. Time for us to take a quick break here, but don't go too far away. The second game draft will be just around the corner. Another chance for Chaos to bounce back, of course, because in these 2-game series, they literally take a point for every game they win. It's not done yet, but Fnatic are searching for 6 out of 6. We'll be seeing you soon.
Throwing back Weehan, the Hex, he'll have to fight back if they're going to defend this one. Same from HFN, a good double stun into the Wukong command, but Abed just turns the BKB on HFN, dying so quickly. He didn't have his 28 stolen intel. He's ready to go without the BKB to protect him. He'll actually just call it. GG, well played. Fnatic have broken through.